Folks, welcome back to the Keep Going podcast with Vin Kennedy. I'm your host, Vin Kennedy. Another one. Here we are. I'm giddy today, I'll be honest. I guess where to start is just what's been going on in the last week. For one, I got a Tesla, which is cool. It's funny, I think anybody that gets a new car or anything, any new material object, it's cool for like the day. And then you kind of like sit there and it's like, okay, well, this is mine now. This is going to become every day now. Doesn't mean it's not special. Doesn't mean it doesn't hold value in your eyes and you don't hold it to a higher regard, but it's what it is. It's a mere material thing. So I was excited to get it, but I kind of knew that just from obviously obtaining other things throughout my 27 year journey here. When getting it, I was excited. It was cool. And then I kind of got overwhelmed with emotion, honestly, for the value behind it. And it's just what it took to obtain it along the journey and the process, not the material item itself. That, of course, it's fun and nice to have nice things and to keep care of nice things, but it's the value within the object rather than the object itself is where I place the value in it. With that being said, like, I know personally what it took. I know a position I was in even 3 years ago, that was never an option. That was never obtainable. Like, I'll be completely honest. I remember I had a Honda Accord Sport prior to, which, great car. If my lease wasn't up and they weren't going to give me money back, I would have just kept it. I remember signing the lease agreement for that car and I was like, how am I going to pay this? And not to mean that I couldn't afford it month to month, but I was, in case of an emergency, I was screwed. I had no means of an emergency fund or anything. I had no savings at the time. To be able to comfortably make this purchase and know what it took to get here is cool. And the transformation that took place along the process is where the growth was and why I hold the car itself at a value rather than for the item that it actually is. A lot of people that have reached the pinnacle of success or financial success often say that they wish they were happier or they wish they had more time type comments. So it's not, financial goals aren't the end all be all. And I've kind of been able to really distinguish myself when it comes to those things. It was cool because I went with my mom to pick it up. Seeing her proud of me, and again, it doesn't matter the type of car I could have got. It doesn't matter. It literally could have been anything. Knowing where I'm at today and seeing her be proud of me be proud of myself was just a really, really cool experience. From there, I have switched mortgage banks. I'm no longer with Round Point Mortgage. I'm still with the home team. I'm under Absolute Mortgage. So cool, new change, bunch of new products. Awesome for, obviously my mortgage career. The company I'm with, the people I'm with, it's definitely a really good new change. Now, with that being said, I also signed a franchise agreement with Alpha Fit. They started up in Westfield. They're kind of popping up a couple different locations now. I have the territory of basically the Jersey Shore. Me and two buddies. Really, really, really excited about this. I mean, this is my passion. This is what I've always kind of wanted to do. This is I wouldn't even say the end all be all because I never want to stop on the journey that I'm on. I just think this is like one of the bigger stepping stones and one of the more monumental progressions that I'll make. Just ecstatic. Literally, like I'm giddy. I mean, they always say things like, love what you do and you'll never work a day in your life. And seeing that come to fruition is it's awesome. Like it's just so cool. Like to wake up and walk into a gym. For me personally, obviously that's not everybody's goal. For me personally, I win because that's something that I've always kind of strived for, always wanted. So to be able to do this and create this is just crazy. And I say it all the time, but a few years ago, I was a police officer. Not even, I think it was a year and a half ago, or 2 years ago now. Like, it's crazy. And again, another great career. And that kind of steps me right into the next topic of like, you need everything. Like, you need everything along the journey. I think going to Jersey City, being a police officer there, seeing some of the things I saw, very eye-opening, humbled me really quick, matured me really quick, and then stepping into a sales job. I personally am one of these advocates that everybody at one point in their life should get into sales because the intangible skills that you learn in a sales career is nothing like it's incomprehensible. You can't even fathom what it takes. It takes rejection. It takes hearing the word no, the consistent fortitude to move through negativity and being told no and getting, just hung up on with cold calls, or you're trying to build relationships with people as far as a realtor or a specific network you're trying to kind of tap into, and you just got to keep chipping away. And it's one of those things where it's not instant gratification. I mean, that kind of just goes, I'm on my path, and I'm kind of doing what feels right for me, and the steps that I think I need to take for my future. And this definitely aligned and kind of was something I felt a strong pull to and definitely wanted to explore. And here we are. Really, really excited. I've wanted to get into the fitness industry for a while now. I just felt like this was the right fit, and ecstatic. Outside looking in, a lot of things could look like overnight success. And I don't even mean myself. I think this is very minuscule compared to the things that people do all the time, all over the place. It could definitely, in this situation, going to use myself, though I don't think that this is just scratching the surface of what's to come. It's really, it could easily be looked at as an overnight success or things happening overnight. I wouldn't even say overnight success because nothing has really taken place yet, but things happening overnight. And I know what it's kind of taken to get to this point. I know what it takes other people to get to this point. A really simple way to break it down is, it just happened today. A buddy of mine just saw him on Instagram. We used to go to the Russian Banyo, which I've gotten into. The place is fantastic. But, he was a kid in his young 20s, definitely like to go out on the weekends, and by no means like obese or completely, I wouldn't say he was completely out of shape, but he just wasn't in the best shape that he could be in. And I saw this kid today, and he's been grinding for months, and he is shredded to the bone. It's funny because you see someone with a six-pack, and it's like, oh, I want that. And you think like, oh, I just got to diet for a week or two. And, everybody has this fixation that cardio is going to get you a six-pack, and I got to run or do that, and I'll get a six-pack. And it's not the reality. The reality is it takes time. It takes discipline. It takes not going out on the weekends. It takes not eating cake. It takes skipping dessert. It takes cooking a lot of your own meals or modifying a lot of the meals when you're out. It's not as shredded as this kid is, and it's not easily maintainable. If you do it the right way, it's easier to maintain. What I've done in the past, you go on these crash diets, you cut your calories to 1,500, now you're fucked, because you're going to hit a wall where at some point you have to eat more food. Like, it's just inevitable, and you're going to gain weight. You see the finished product, but you don't see the work behind the scenes. And that's kind of what I'm getting to when I talk about people saying overnight success. So for me personally, it's a lot of going to the gym, eating healthy, waking up early, reading books, taking in informative podcasts, taking in the right content that I needed, the positivity that I needed, the motivation that I needed at the time. Motivation's fleeting, but sometimes it's good to just circulate that in your mind and have the positivity outweigh the negativity. And, a lot of people don't understand. I'm not the only one, but a lot of people don't understand when people work out like crazy or have to eat healthy or have to do certain things a certain way. And it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. And that's something that I've personally learned. And it's crazy because these things that look like they would have nothing to do with another area of your life, completely change it. Like I said, when it came to signing a lease for the Honda, financially, I just wasn't in a good spot. To be completely honest, I just started as a police officer, wasn't making a lot of money, didn't know how to handle my finances, was not in a good spot. I started locking in nutrition and dieting and working out and cutting back on drinking. My finances got better. I was a police officer, so I went up in step each year, but nothing dramatic. You wouldn't even really see it reflected in a pay stub. The difference was my habits changed. My habits changed for the better. So it sometimes is the simple things, and they really do affect other areas of your life, though we like to think they don't. It could work the other way, in the negative as well. Luckily, I've had a lot of these things compound in the positive way, and I tend to get hyper-focused, and it kind of helps me really become disciplined, which, again, something I'm working on is the balance, but in certain situations, it's helped to my benefit. So I think, and again, I wouldn't even say overnight success. I would just say like overnight moves almost being made. I think a lot of it has to do with just that's what fitness has done for me. Fitness was the catalyst for the change in other areas of my life for the better, because it showed me the discipline. It showed me what hard work could do. It showed me what delayed gratification could really do. And I've kind of just started to apply this to other areas of my life, taking in the right content, listen to the right people, and then trial and error. Like anything else, you kind of plug and play with what works for you, what doesn't, what works for your finances, what doesn't, what works for your relationships, what doesn't. It's really, really cool. It really is. It's just cool. The journey is so, it's beautiful. Like I don't even know another word to describe it. I know that sounds corny, but it really is, because it's yours and it's unique to you. And that kind of gets me exactly what I want to hit on next. And this is kind of the last thing I'm going to touch on, where we're all here to try and figure it out. Like that's the main premise of your life, is to piece together your puzzle pieces in a way that they fit your life and the life that you want to live and lead. It's got to be, you need to just fit your puzzle pieces in a way that makes you happy and doesn't hurt other people. And a lot of people come from that scarcity mindset of, oh, well, they have pieces I need. And they don't. Nobody does. Nobody does, because your puzzle pieces only fit your puzzle. You can't take pieces from somebody else's puzzle because they won't fit your puzzle. So that's just a good way to look at when we are envious or are jealous. Of course, it's easy to get jealous or envious of people. There's a ton of people that I look up to. I wouldn't change my life with anybody. I would not change my life with a single person. And it has nothing to do with what just went on the last week. This is something I've said to people before too. We're so quick to change and switch. People say that, oh, I want to be them, or I want to switch and change my life. I know people just talk as well. But for me personally, I think, like, if you sit there, and this is what I do now. I sit here and I reflect on these deep things and have these conversations with myself, and I sit there and I'm like, yeah, but then my mom's not my mom. Like, I don't have my nephew, or, my little sister who's became my best friend, which is just funny at this point. I don't have her. You know what I mean? So like, there's no one I would change any of it with, because then you lose your own experiences. You lose your own wisdom. You lose your own knowledge. You lose everything. If you switch, you lose everything. So, of course, it's easy to get stuck in that almost like jealousy or envious phase or mindset, but it's just one of those things where their puzzle pieces aren't for you. They'll never fit in your puzzle. Your pieces are not for them. They won't fit in their puzzle. Of course, at times we are connected and we can help each other. And at those points, we have mutual puzzle pieces. But in a sense of taking selfishly and at the pitfall of other people, it won't work. It will not work, especially for building an authentic, real version of yourself and future that you're looking for. That's really all I got. This is kind of more of a life update. The overwhelming support from people that I've known a lifetime and people that I've just met recently in passing is crazy. And it's so appreciated, and rooting for everybody else as well. I appreciate rooting for you too. There's no reason you can't help someone else. But yeah, if you got anything from this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you. See you next episode.